Congratulations to the Green Bay Packers. I mean, they came out here tonight and they absolutely destroyed the Tennessee Titans. They beat them down 40-14. Aaron Rodgers, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers. He might win the MVP this year. I mean, it's coming down the wire between him and Mahomes, but Mahomes hasn't looked great recently. Meanwhile, you see Aaron Rodgers, he's been straight up balling out. It's crazy. When you put their numbers together, Patrick Mahomes has more passing yards, but Aaron Rodgers has a better completion percentage, more touchdowns, less interceptions, and a better passer rating. Oh my God, he's probably going to get it. He's probably going to get it. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to get it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mahomes get it either because it looks like the team's going to go 15-1. But with the way Aaron Rodgers is balling out, I don't see how you don't give him the MVP. Unless week 17, he just absolutely stinks up the joint against the Bears. Who knows? Who knows? But I think it really looks like this man's about to win MVP. Wow. What a performance he had. He had 4 passing touchdowns. He made one mistake. One mistake. He was 21-25, man. One mistake. And that was the pick. He rolled to his right and threw the ball across the middle, which he knew he shouldn't have done because you never, when you roll to your right, you don't ever throw across the middle. You're just giving a defender an opportunity to come up and pick that, which is what happened. But other than that, he was flawless with the 4 passing touchdowns. 3 of those 4 passing touchdowns went to Davante Adams, who, my God, 11 catches, 142 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. The man has 16. He becomes the 3rd player all time to have 16 touchdowns and 100 catches in the season. The other 2, Randy Moss and Chris Carter. That's a fine list to be on. That is a fine list to be a part of, man. Davante Adams, we've been constantly going back and forth as to who is the best receiver in the league. And I got to say, man, it's difficult. But, you know, this guy, Davante Adams, makes a hell of a case for himself. If you said Davante Adams is the best receiver in the game, I would not be mad. I would not disagree. Matter of fact, I'll probably agree with you. Because the way this guy's been balling, straight fire. This guy has been on fire. This team has been doing their thing. They looked great tonight. They were balling. Defensively, they did their job. They held Tennessee to 14 points. Not only that, they made Tannehill look bad. He had 2 interceptions on the day. And most importantly, they held King Henry to under 100 yards rushing. That is not an easy thing to do. That is not an easy thing to do, but the Green Bay Packers did it tonight. I mean, straight up balling the entire game. The Titans were fighting back. They were fighting, but there was just so much pressure being thrown at Tannehill, and he makes a couple of mistakes because he's trying to get the ball out of his hands because there's so much pressure, and he ends up throwing a couple picks. It's tough. It's tough. He should have had 3. He honestly should have had 3, but, you know, the pass was dropped. It is what it is, but, you know, Tannehill did not play good today. The Titans' defense did not play good at all today, and Derrick Henry could not get anything going consistently. Now, of course, there were times where Derrick Henry looked like he was about to go off, but the Packers' defense made sure to stop that, man. They locked that down. It's crazy. I really can't believe they actually held King Henry to under 100 yards rushing. And they really made, right? This is probably the worst Ryan Tannehill's looked in a while. Maybe all season. I mean, he couldn't do anything. He really couldn't do anything. The Packers just straight up dominated. This is what I like to see. And let me tell you this right now, they gotta win next week. I believe, yeah, they're going against the Bears. Bears are also fighting for their lives. If they win that game, they're in the playoffs. So Packers beat the Bears next week, claim the number 1 seed, and let's see what you can do in the NFC. Honestly, if the Packers get the number 1 seed in the NFC, there are no excuses. They must be in the Super Bowl. When you have Aaron Rodgers playing at this level and who's probably going to end up winning the MVP, you got Davante Adams balling out like this, looking like the best receiver in the game. You got this offense flowing, this offense doing what they're doing, and you got this defense playing as great as that. You have to get to the Super Bowl if you get the number 1 seed. There will be no excuse. There won't be if Seattle comes in and beats you guys, unacceptable. If the Saints come in and beat you guys, unacceptable. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come in and beat you guys, unforgivable. You have no excuse. If you get the number 1 seed, you better be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. No questions. With the way they're playing, no excuses will be accepted. Man, this is just... Oh, look at the playoff race. This is just crazy, man. It's crazy. when it really comes to me for the NFC, I really know I don't know who to pick. I'm gonna wait until the season ends, but let's see how the Packers finishes off. I'm really leaning towards the Packers now, but I can't get that blowout loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of my mind, especially because the Bucs they're balling too. The Bucs are balling. They destroyed the Detroit Lions, and they're getting hot, and they're going to be in the playoffs too. So this whole race, man, the playoffs this season are going to be insane. AFC is going to be insane. NFC is going to be insane. I really don't know who to pick. At least in the AFC, you can pick a favorite. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. After that, you can say the Bills, and then you got to fight. Do you pick the Steelers? They've been inconsistent. Do you pick the Titans? They've been inconsistent. They just got destroyed here. Do you pick the Colts if they get in? Inconsistency. Do you pick the Browns if they get in? Inconsistency. Baltimore, they are hot. Lamar Jackson's playing at an MVP level again. He's doing their thing, and they're just straight up rolling. However, people aren't going to forget the fact that you lost to the Steelers, lost to the Titans, and lost to the Patriots. You won a 3-game losing streak against 2 playoff teams. No one's going to forget that. So maybe you look at Baltimore and say they can be a threat if they get healthy and they continue to stay hot. But even then, that's just a threat. That doesn't guarantee anything. So really, it's just Mahomes at the top. But in the NFC, it's so difficult. Do you pick Green Bay? Well, can you pick Green Bay because they got blown out by Tampa Bay? Can you pick Tampa Bay? Because, they got swept by the Saints. Can you pick the Saints? I don't know. They've been kind of looking a little bit inconsistent at times, and Drew Brees isn't healthy, and I don't trust Sean Payton's play calling in the postseason, and especially because he's in love with Taysom Hill and will throw him out there at the weirdest of times. So do I pick the Saints? I don't know. Seattle, I like them. Defense is playing better, and I trust Russell Wilson, but I don't know. There's something about him, man. I'm scared that the defense is going to fail at the worst moment and it's going to cost Russell Wilson again. I don't know. Then you look at the Rams, they've fallen off. They were at the highest a couple weeks ago. Now they've fallen off. That loss to the Jets was unacceptable. So who do you pick? Who do you actually pick in the NFC? It's going to be crazy, but we'll see how this whole situation wraps up. Week 17 is going to be crazy. If your team's already locked up a playoff spot, you can just sit back, relax, and you don't really care how Week 17 goes. If your team is currently in the playoffs and controls their own destiny, all you're doing is hoping that your team gets the job done. If your team is in the playoffs, but they don't control their destiny, if they're not in the playoffs, in the hunt, and they don't control their destiny, all you can do is sit back, hope and pray that your team wins, and then a miracle happens. So, Week 17 is going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy, but we'll see what happens. As for the Packers, for the most part, they'll be fine. I think they're going to get the number 1 seed. But for the Titans, this doesn't change anything for you because the Colts blew a 21-point lead to the Steelers, so they lost. So even though you lost this game, you're still in the lead for the AFC South, meaning if you win next week, you win the division. Simple as that. You lost this game, but if you win in Week 17 against the Texans, you win the division. Simple as that. The Colts can't do anything about that. All you got to do is take care of business. If Tennessee takes care of business, they will be in the playoffs and they will win the division this year. It's as simple as that. So there's nothing to worry about if you're a Titans fan. I believe if you would have won this game, it would have clinched you the AFC South. But it is what it is. You can get it done in Week 17. Although Houston's not going to be an easy team to beat because Deshaun Watson's such a competitor that he's not going to sit back and just allow you guys to come in and destroy them. But, I as much as I love Deshaun Watson, I have no faith and confidence and trust in this Texas team at all. And I love J.J. Watt, but there's not like 10 other J.J. Watts on the defense. If there were, we could have been fine. But, it's only one J.J. Watt. They don't have that passion. They don't have that intensity, that skill that J.J. Watt has. So I'm not trusting that secondary. I'm not trusting that defense. I'm not trusting that defensive front in general. So I expect the Titans to win Week 17, take care of business, win the division, and the Colts might be out of luck. Because unless Pittsburgh beats the Cleveland Browns, I don't see how the Colts get in the playoffs. Or you can hope the Bengals beat Baltimore, which is very likely. It's not like the Bengals haven't knocked us out of the playoffs before. We literally were in this scenario like 3 years ago. So it's possible. Okay, nothing's impossible. The Jets beat the Rams and then proceed to beat the Browns. What's to say Baltimore doesn't go into Cincinnati and get smacked? It could happen. We'll see. But yeah, Week 17 is going to be crazy. All I know is the Packers are going to get things done. They got it done tonight. They're going to get things done on Week 17, clinch the number 1 seed, and they will be the favorites to get to the Super Bowl. As for the Titans, they lost today, but they're going to get the job done next week against the Texans, win the AFC South, and they'll be in the playoffs. With that being said, that's really all I got for this one, and I'm out of here, man. Peace!